That wasn't enough for you, was it? Oh, nah. You came to see me suffer. And you also want me to get into the more deep fucking details, don't you? Hmm? 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 Fuck you, none of you care about me. Where do I even fucking begin? Now that I have given you proper context and detail of what you're going to be expecting to see. Because I don't want to talk about the fucking film anymore. But I have to talk about the film. Cuties is what happens when people like Jack Saint keep running their fucking mouths and saying, "Oh, we need to talk about these things." How could you think that it's not supposed to be what it is when it's actually doing everything it is to denounce such content and filth? It is disgusting, to say the least. But if we have to get deep into it, what Cuties is, at its core, is what happens when a person claims they understand what sexualization of children is and what it does, and not understanding how mind-meltingly stupid you have to be in order to say, "Oh no, this is absolutely denouncing the sexualization of children," by then sexualizing the children. This is what I meant when I was saying in the video I just made, singular, that this film feels like plot points put together and being held together by the glue that's supposed to be Amy's over sexualization and the confusion of what it means to be a woman, or what it means to be becoming a woman. But the way that this film is made feels like it's a horror film. That's my best take. I have audio from while we were watching it, but I'm not even sure I want to put it there, because really, that's just a close to 4-hour snuff film of me losing my fucking mind. And I am considering it. It'll be funny for a laugh. But if anything, it is an example of what the fuck is going on here in the minds of people who think that the defense of this is even close to being defensible. Right? Because if you want to consider this the spoiler talk version of this goddamn movie, this film, from beginning to end, is a child being allowed to get away with shit that no child should ever be able to get away with. It is a girl going down a literal rabbit hole. And the further she pushes to try and make it okay that she's done what she's done, the further it pushes away other people who are around this character. Like, Ami is a main character that at almost all times is wearing a neutral face. It feels like a horror film because of that. Scenes that, given the context of what you're looking at, could be seen as the broken state of this girl's mind being pushed on a ride, as she pushes towards what she thinks she wants, and emotionally is being pushed towards what she doesn't know. It's two things clashing at once, to the point that it is jarring. Scenes don't make conceptual connections unless what you're getting is, and the only way that I could probably describe this is a film that, if the context was not supposed to be, and the final answer conclusion was not supposed to be, "Hey guys, we're saying that this is bad," this film unironically said Islam is right about women. Because that's the first scene of the film. The first scene we get in the film is Ami being brought into the home that she's going to be living in this France slum. I don't know if it's slum, but it by all means feels like it's a Islamic slum. And she's brought into prayer with all the other women as they're praying in preparation for her father's wedding, because he's taken a second wife, and her mother is pushed to her fucking edge because of her behavior. But that happens over the film. And the first thing that we get in context is the women in deliberation discussing how the devil is in the scantily clad women. Women sexualizing themselves and being sexual. Follow throughout the entire film. And what we end off on in our final scene, after she has sexualized herself, sexualized her friends, forced sexualization on her friends, committed an act of violence in order to push Yasmin off the fucking footbridge so that she could take her place and get on stage and justify all the shit she's done to herself. She has a mental breakdown on said stage and runs home and is saved from scolding by her mother. But it doesn't feel like the mother's accepting her for her actions. It's more like after the outburst that she has with Ami, I think the character's name is actually, the full name of the character is Amadella, something like that. I can't be bothered to fucking watch it again. She gets saved by her mother, and she takes off takes off her clothes, but she neither puts on the dress that was supposed to be intended for her father's wedding, and she does not wear the whole was uniform, and she instead puts on normal clothes, and then goes outside and plays double dutch. Well, not double dutch, jump rope, but the final shot of this film is supposed to be Ami jumping and floating as the camera pans upwards, which, if it was made by a better director and made by a better editor and a better film crew, you could say is Ami realizing that she doesn't want to be hypersexual, and she also doesn't want to live in an oppressive religion, and that all of these things have come to a head, and she's just gonna try to live as a normal 11-year-old French girl, right? But throughout the entirety of this film, for every single piece of sexualization that happens, some of which is the fault of her whole friends, with characters like Angelica and Jess and Kurumba and Yasmin, the fat girl who gets basically cut out of this group of these girls that are bullying her while she tries to spy on them, and she tries to integrate herself in with them. While some of it to blame to the story elements, as they're presented to you, would be, oh, well, the girls hypersexualized her because they were being sexual without realizing it. And then she just was following suit. She had no choice. If you were to go down that route, and I know for a fact people have gone down that route because, oh my god, they just don't shut the fuck up. If that was the argument you wanted to make, that the sexualization of the children and how fucking skeevy it feels is supposed to be the message, you have failed at your messaging. I'm gonna be with Dank on this one, although it was a take that I already said that I didn't like. It was a take that I made in my coverage originally, that if what you wanted to do was to make a film that was supposed to be anti-pedo, you did it in the worst pro-pedo ways. You did not succeed at your goal, and you instead made everybody uncomfortable and everybody hate you in the process. There was no use of body doubles. There was no use of clever cutting. There was no caution taken with how these scenes were put together. They're put together in such a way that you're supposed to believe this is supposed to be just any kind of normal coming-of-age film, but it's really not. It's really not. Because it's not these girls being on the edge of womanhood, you know, late bloomers that are just copying what they see because that's just part of the culture. No, these are 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, at some level, if you want to say they look that old, girls, doing some of the worst shit. Because it's not even a case of, like, hip-hop culture at this point. You can't even make that angle. This is just debaucherous. And it's debaucherous because there is no fucking... There is no man. There is no patriarchal society influence here. It's all women. And at the times when there is a man on screen, like Ami's cousin, whose phone she steals, the same phone that she then uses to create child porn, when she takes a photo of herself, posts it on her shit, on what basically is this film's equivalent of Facebook or Instagram. A phone, which, by the way, should be tracked by the police, so that guy should have gone to jail, or at least she should have gone to jail for the production of child porn. Both what she did to Toilet Dude, and also what she did to herself. With cases like that, the cousin and the security guards that catch them when they break into laser tag, because originally, when I saw that scene, I thought it was supposed to be a gay club, in which case I said, no! Fortunately, it wasn't. But then it turned right back around to being that when they start twerking for the guards. At every single point of this film, where they're trying to sell you this idea that, oh no, she's being pushed into doing this. Oh no, she has to do this. She gets her freedom. No, she fucking doesn't. And no, it's fucking not. She's just doing this shit because she's being a hoe. That's the only answer there. Because there is no male to put her in straight line. There's just women. The older woman and her mother. The older woman, you could say, represents the idealistic of the proper woman on the tenets of Islam. But the problem is that she's not necessarily wrong for doing this, because at every single goal in this film, Ami is constantly resisting any and all authority, period. For the scene where she's trying to seduce her cousin so that he lets her keep the phone. And it's not even fucking, it doesn't even fucking make sense. Even in scenes like that, there's no angle you can make here where you're like, well, this is clearly being something that tells you that it's not okay, because it's only the men in this fucking film. Which is hilarious, because I feel like even the actors themselves would be Muslim in this case. Which is just double irony. But every single man, both normal men, authority figures, and people doing their fucking jobs, and direct blood family members to her, they are the only ones who tell her, get the fuck off of me, stop doing this house shit, what the fuck are you doing? And also the older woman and her mother telling her, take off these fucking clothes, what the fuck are you doing, I will beat the shit out of you. Like, I was cheering by the time her mother took off the chancellor. Bro, I was so happy. And yet, despite all of this, beginning to end, and even including the crowd scene, even the crowd scene towards the end of the film with their giant fucking set piece, at no time at all does it feel like this film is telling you, oh, this is wrong. It's not really telling you that in the way it's doing it. What it's really telling you is, man, if only there was some structure. If only she had some real guidance. If only she had somebody who could just understand. That's really the message that I was getting during this film. And it boggles my mind. Because it's not. Because again, this film's so shittily fucking made that from beginning to end, the only thing that's tying any of the scenes together, because it's all set pieces, you see, put together well enough that it at least makes some level of coherent sense if you fucking squint at it. From beginning to end in this film, from the first scene to the moment that we were shown at the beginning, in medias res, of the Cuties doing their thing, or even of them being ready to go on stage, or the actual fight that happens internally in the group after the cooter, after the cutie picture. Everything just starts falling apart. Because even then, before they go on stage for the set piece that I'm talking about, the final dance number, all of them are there after having kicked her out of the group and re-accepting Yasmin, the big girl. Because after the cutie picture, They're all like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? We wanted to just be hoochie mamas. We didn't want to show our show a vagoo to the internet." Even then, Angelica, which is supposed to be the de facto leader, the one who is supposed to be 11 but looks 31 in the face, especially when she's wearing glasses. Even that girl's like, "Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to be your friend, but like, I didn't ask for any of this shit." When she shows up in place of Yasmin, and they're like, "No, we gotta wait for Yasmin. We don't really want to dance with her." Angelica's the one that is trying to sell them on the idea, mainly because Angelica just wants to get the shit over with. But by the time they're there and they go through that entire moment, which is like 30 seconds fucking long, it's gone from the point of, okay, these girls know that she's fucking trouble, but you're still going to put up with it, to like, "Girls power, girls forever." I just want to die. At all points, I just want to die. That's all I want. I want to die. Death. Death is what I would like. That's all I desire. I'm not gonna get it because I'm stronger than this film. But oh boy, did this film take a lot out of me. Do not let your children fucking watch this. I will go to your house. I will go to your house and I will surprise you. If you fucking let children watch this shit, it will fuck their heads up. Just look what it did to my head. If you were so unlucky, like I was, to not be able to find a pirate link in time, to fucking torrent this shit, so you could watch it and know what the fuck it was, so you could delete it off your computer forever, if you had to spend money like I did, the $9, to fucking re-enable your fucking Netflix subscription, my soul goes out for you. But by no means should you ever allow any person to defend this film without making it very clear where the fuck they stand. The only proper take that you can have here is that the girls unequivocally were taken advantage of by this director. That this film shouldn't exist because it breaks its own rules and fails at being a proper message against the thing that it's trying to fight. Netflix should really be taken up to task, because at the end of the day, this is what happens when you, as a online streaming platform publisher, publish content without standards and practices. Technically, this is what standards and practices exist for. And Netflix and any other streaming service that sells content like this, shipped to a media platform, they have to be aware and careful of what the fuck they're doing. I don't see where the precautions were taken. I don't see how you were making a point on proving that this was bad when there's nothing at all that even shows that you think that this is horrible. So by every single measurement, by every single point of purchase, if you are a person out there that's defending this, I have to tell you, go fuck yourself. You deserve to be violated anally, at least emotionally, so that you can understand what pain I'm in and what pain everybody else is in, watching you try to defend this, or having seen what the fuck you're defending and wondering what the fuck is wrong with your brain. Starting from Vito all the way down to Jack. Fuck each and every single one of you. Every single last fucking one. You disgust me. I'm taking a nap.